This is Mark.
This is Chip.
Hey, Chip, how are you?
Pretty good for my age. How are you?
Pretty good for your age. You're not that old yet, man.
No, I feel good.
Good, man. How's Sunday treating you?
It's a good day so far. Got up at 9. I went to bed at 4. After my session, I worked downtown producing a band over at Chicago recording company. And it was a good day because yesterday, not only was I celebrating my birthday, but Yoko Ono was downstairs recording in Studio 4. I was in Studio 5, so I went downstairs and said hi to everybody. It was real nice. The Plastic Ono band was recording, doing some new songs. I thought that was interesting. They're here in Chicago.
Wow, man. Well,
And then I got back at 4 in the morning, went to bed about 4:30, got up at 9, went to church, and now I'm up. Been up all day. Just a lot of driving. Okay, very. Chicago is throbbing with life right now. Tons of action, a lot of stuff going on, and I'm all fired at scenery. But I leave at 6 o'clock in the morning for Guam, so I'm excited.
great, man. Well, happy belated birthday to you for one.
Thanks, buddy.
And what was it like seeing the Plastic Ono band going at it?
It's so cool. I don't think anybody's a bigger fan of the Beatles than my band. And so, she's downstairs recording with the Plastic Ono band was surreal. And, I went downstairs and the guitar player said hi to me. And one of the girl singers in the band said hello to me as well. And she goes, I really like your sunglasses. I go, I love yours too, she had a pair on. And she took them off and went to hand to me, to try them on. So I took mine off, handed her my glasses, and she goes, we got to take a selfie. And then took all the pictures, and it was very nice. It was a wonderful experience, closest I've ever gotten, besides McCartney, of course, because I've been on shows with McCartney. And but he never comes by. I'm backstage waiting for him. He never comes out. He's usually probably tired after a 2-hour show. He doesn't really want to see people. Or he needs a little break. He's 7 years old.
True.
But as close as I've gotten to any Beatles, because I look at her as like the 6th member of the Beatles. The 5th member, of course, was Billy Preston, the keyboard player. I
guess that goes against the Saturday Night Live skit of Clarence being the 5th Beatle, then, huh?
That's pretty good.
Great, man. So, obviously, you're taking off for. You guys got a couple shows in Guam coming up here.
I leave tomorrow morning. 3 shows for Enough Snuff in Guam, playing for the troops, playing a club gig, and then playing, of course, the Hard Rock out there. So 3 in a row. Then I have to get on a plane after the last show on Friday. And early in the morning, by the way, I have to leave after the show, go right to the airport, and fly into Los Angeles, get there early in the morning on the 17th, and we're playing at the Hairnation Festival.
Which is a cool thing, which is part of what this interview is to, embrace, is that festival. And there's so much, a lot of bands playing on that show that day. Is there anybody you're excited with reconnecting with that maybe you haven't seen in a few years and you're getting to see them that day and maybe hang out a little bit?
Well, we just got off tour. We just did a few shows with Vince Neil, so that's nice to always play with Vince. He's always been wonderful to me. Maybe he feels guilty because he stole my drummer back in the 90s, Fox. So every time I see him, it's nothing but hugs and love. So and that makes me feel good that there's no harm, no foul. That's life. And I'm excited about seeing Brett Michaels because Brett with Poison toured extensively with Enough Snuff. We've done major tours playing sheds and arenas on big long festivals together. So that's nice to reacquaint ourselves because we've always got along. I remember the first tour, the only tour Poison's ever went over to Europe. Enough Snuff supported them, and the very first show, I walked downstairs with my band to leave to go to the venue for sound check, and Brett was downstairs in the foyer, and he says, "Hey Chip, we just met too." He said hi. That was real quick. And then now here I am, the second time running into him. He goes, "Hey Chip, can you do me a favor? My band left me here. Can I get a ride with you guys to the venue?" I thought, God, why would a band leave the singer at the hotel? I said, absolutely, bud. Come on, get on the bus. And we took him to the venue, and he told me all about his diabetes and, what if he ever passes out or anything, when I need to get him like orange juice or candy bar, some kind of candy. And he showed me all his whole kit. And I thought that was pretty interesting that he shared that with me, and he's very knowledgeable. He's super smart. And that was very charming as well. And, of course, on the tour, he stole all the chicks, but that's beside the point. It was nice to hang out with him. We had a great time together, and I've seen him ever since. So we've done shows with him. We do a show or two every single year with either a solo band or whatever he's out there with, and get along great. He's a real quintessential rock star. So I'm excited about that as well. And then, of course, he got all those bands that are on the LA Guns with Lewis and Tracy Guns. That's going to be interesting. Junkyard's going to be on there. It's Faster Pussycat. Those guys, no one parties as hard as they do. So I think there's probably 20 or 30 bands on the bill that I think are going to be for that. I won't be able to catch them all because I have a ton of press to do and a lot of fans to see. But I'm going to try to do my best to get out and see most of the groups out there. Oh, Ingve Malmsteen too will be there, and that's a good guy to watch if you're playing guitar because it'll tell you after that show to get out of the business because he's a motherfucker. That guy can play. He's really, really great.
Yeah, that's definitely a different thing, but it's good to see such a big venue host such a great festival to celebrate music that was about fun and good times and enjoying yourself, which is kind of interesting. It's kind of cool to see, or rather hear you guys talking about going to go play for the troops, because obvious today in our history here in America is that 15-year anniversary of 9/11. So you guys going to play for the troops is kind of an honor, I would think.
It certainly is. We've done this quite a bit, actually, throughout our career. I remember us flying into New York and playing on the USO Intrepid with Billy Joel and Billy Gibson for 6,000 drunken salty dogs. And very gratifying gig. They're starving for rock and roll. Those guys work their ass off. They provide a service to all of us, not just us, our families as well. And we're able to live our lives and do what we do for nothing but the utmost respect and love for our troops. And then when I played with Adler from Guns N' Roses, we went over and we did some stuff for all the Wounded Warriors as well. We played acoustic show. We know who butters our bread. Okay, those guys are super important, a huge part of our fabric here worldwide, and I have nothing but love for them. So it's only fitting that we're going to go over to Guam, play these shows. They just bring in another. I'm not sure it was 80,000 troops to do some stuff out there. So it's going to be a wonderful concert. All three of them are going to be well attended, I'm sure. And then to come back here to the United States and be able to play a show because of what the service these guys provide for us, and play an incendiary concert with 20 or 30 bands from the 80s that MTV embraced back in those days. And all them fans are going to be out there. They're diehard rock and roll fans. It's incredible. I can't believe that we got called to do this at the last minute, too, by the way, Mark. We weren't on the bill, and I was told at the last minute that Loudness couldn't get their passports together, and they're having trouble at customs, and that's when we were called and said, hey, can you guys come in here and take their place? And we played it before. Last year we played Irving Meadows with Kent House Live through Live Nations. And I think we left an indelible mark with them because here we are again. Round 2, second year in a row. I love it. I think it's great. And I'd like to think that there's a small little resurgence for Enough Snuff. We got a record coming out at the end of December with on Frontiers, which is a nice big label. Back with our old president from Atco Atlantic, Eric Shulman, helping us. And got a big tour with 3 shows with Kiss coming up in July and November for the Kiss Cruise. That's quite an honor to play with them, big fans. And then after that, we go out with Ace Frehley for 6 weeks, starting in January. So there's a little gas in that fucking tank of Enough Snuffs, and I don't take it for granted. I'm very blessed.
Well, look, if you look at the, where, the bands of the 80s are at today, and it's great that, we can still all come together and celebrate that at a big festival, because if you think of how the music model is today, the bands that are here today, 30 years from now, I don't think they're going to be remembered like the bands of the 80s were, because technology today is too much here today, gone later today, and it's forgotten. And we still hold that past where we collected vinyl and then onto cassettes and whatnot. And that, people in our age group who existed back then can still embrace that and have fun. But the people who own it now, it's all on their phones, and in 5 years it's going to be deleted from their phone, and it's going to be forgotten, unfortunately. So I think that, we came up in a good time frame for music. And it's still remembered today, which is, I think, a good feeling. What are your thoughts on the music model today and, how it was 30 years ago?
Well, the business is all over the place right now. We're in a time right now where Herbie Herbert, who used to manage us enough, he managed Journey and Mr. Big and Roxette and Steve Miller. He's one of the greatest managers of all time. Grew up during the Phil Maurice days with all those, Grateful Dead cats and stuff. So he's he's just a super intelligent guy. His biggest fan was Bill Graham, and he said to me that we're at a time right now where there's too much product, not enough demand. And hats off to MTV and VH1, because back in the 80s and 90s, they really played the videos. They gave all of us a career. And now it's very cookie cutter, and a lot of, in the old days where you want to buy a cassette or a CD or an album for that matter, and it was exciting when a brand new record came out and the new Metallica was out there, the new Cheap Trick, and the next Aerosmith record. People would flock to the stores to grab them, and they'd come back home and all the friends would sit around and look at the album cover or the CD cover, and we'd listen to all the songs, and it was really a ritual. And nowadays, kids hear a song and they get excited about it. They just get on their phone and know they want to steal it. Some of them are honorable. They go download it with iTunes. But you don't see the chips on that. The bands aren't making any money on that. It's not much difference. The new model is bands go out on tour. All the bands, including new bands that are reading or listening to this interview. And they'll go out and they'll buy the record, or they'll see the band. The way to make money for the groups would be to sell them at the shows, and you sell your products at the shows, and that's how people can hear a record and they can buy it. Or B, a band would go out and license it through TV, a movie, a soundtrack, a TV show, a commercial, etc. Those are ways for bands to make a living making music right now. The old models is gone, and it's not coming back because people are pillaging the music, and rightly so. I remember in the old days, friends would get the new Zeppelin record or the new Queen record, and we'd copy it onto a cassette tape, and we'd have copies of it, and it'd be a version that was less than stellar, but it'd be the songs nonetheless, and they're just excited. I think that fidelity doesn't really play a factor right now in music the way it is. And people are happy to get a mono download of something as opposed to the real stereo killer mix. And my thoughts are, as an artist, is we can't change as bands. We have to give the audience the best sound and the strongest fidelity of material we can possibly give them to last a lifetime. And that's the most important right there. And if people want to go down and pillage the music, at least they want to hear your songs and they want to support you. And maybe the sales that you might miss from people stealing your songs will come back tenfold to you when they come out and see you in concert. And they play the show in front of them, and they buy a ticket, and then maybe if you trip their trigger enough to get a T-shirt or go to the merch booth and give away your CDs, and that's the only way you can look at it right now. The real way to make money for any bands, like I said earlier, is to license your music.
Completely is. When you hear, you watch a football game, obviously football started today, and you hear Motley Crue's Home Sweet Home, every third commercial break, and, they got to be, they're making money from that now. And,
but the new bands aren't getting that opportunity. Who wants to hear the next record of Louis the 14th or Ezra Furman or one of these new or the Strokes or the Struts or one of the new rock bands. So you're not gonna no one knows those songs. You know, why do they play the Motley Crue or Aerosmith or Poison and stuff? Because those bands got tons of airplay. They were on VH1, they were on MTV, and they sold millions of records. And those songs are familiar. And classic rock radio plays it over and over again. And if you want a hit song, it's called repetition in any form of life. You got repetition, people are going out and hearing it all the time. They react and they make it a hit. So for the newer bands that are out there right now, it's a way tougher sell for them to go out there and play shows and find an outlet so people can hear their music every single day. It's very difficult for new bands. I commend them all. And my advice to them, if I was managing a band, would be, guys, let's make a great incendiary record and then go out and find someone that's interested in putting in their movie or soundtrack or a TV show. Or maybe there's a commercial out there, lipstick, makeup, car commercial. You get one of these songs on there, and you might not get a ton of dough up front, but you get the recognition, and it'll help elevate your perception. People hear the song all the time. That's it, bro. I can manage any band right now. Know what to do. It's a matter of how to do it and find the ways to do that without it, where it's cost effective. That's the toughest part, because let's face it, everything is about money.
Very, very true, man.
Money changes everything.
It's absolutely true, man. Speaking of money, I thought it was kind of refreshing, as Doc and is reuniting with their a lineup, and they're doing those 6 shows in Japan, and they're admitting that, hey, we're doing it for the money. This is exactly why we're doing it. What are your thoughts on them admitting to that?
My thoughts are, it's nice to be nice to the nice. And I don't think you need to tell and get on a microphone and say that to people. Let's not make mistakes in my lifetime where I've said things about, enough's enough in the early days, how we did more cocaine than Guns N' Roses. But I'm just being honest about it. And people sometimes look at that and they go, these guys have been promiscuous. They've dealt with substance abuse and alcoholism, but they were honest and they told the truth. Sometimes it's better to keep it to yourself. Don't offend the fans that are out there. They're excited about hearing your music and going, hey, they're back together again, playing it by a stupid statement of, we're just doing it for the money. It's not fair to the fans. It's disrespectful, I think. How about we're doing it because we want to get back together again, because no one would even know who the fuck we are if it wasn't for us working together and making those records in the early days and working our ass off on tour like they did, those bands. And they deserve to be out there playing. But don't rub it in the fans' face. We're just doing it for the money. How about you're doing it because the fans deserve it for supporting you all these years, and you guys want to get together and play and heal the wounds that have followed you years and years where you haven't played together. How's that? That's better to me, I think. Okay, I'm gonna establish my, hey, Doc is back together, and they owe it to. They're saying they owe it to the fans, and they want to play these shows and time heals all wounds, and they're going to go out there and kick ass on these 6 incendiary shows they're going to play sold out in Japan. That's it. No talking about, hey, we're going to get the dough. We're going to make $1 million on 6 shows. How about not saying one word?
Interesting point. Which is true. The fans gave the bands their careers 25, 30 years ago. And those fans are still around. Look at Guns N' Roses out playing these shows. It's good to see, Duff and Slash and Axl, bury the hatchet. And
Steven too. Steven's out there with them too.
Yep, he got out and did those shows.
They're doing it because they want to play. Sure, they're making a brink suck full of money on that tour, okay? They really are. But look at Axl's vibe and attitude right now. He's a superstar, singing with Guns N' Roses, biggest band in the world, AC/DC, biggest band in the world. 2 of the biggest hitters right there in rock and roll. He's keeping the flame going. He's keeping it alive. And I commend him for that. It's nice that those guys. I always said to Steven, I used to live with Steven. We lived together for 5 years. I toured with him. I played records with him. Now he talked about this for years. Chip, we should just get together and go out and play like we did in the early days when we had no chips. Let's do it for the fans who will help provide us with a wonderful, cushy life. And those songs are a great template of how it all started. And I just want to be I want to give back and say thank you to everybody who's been involved in supporting us through the years. That's the attitude. Look at the tour. It's kicking ass right now. They're all having a great time. Stephen called me from Slash's bus after the Cincinnati show. I just hear in his voice how excited he was and all the enthusiasm there. He's throbbing with life because it happened after all the years of sitting and waiting. The wounds have healed. They're back together again, and the show's strong. And Axel has really showed me a different side of him. I have nothing but respect, and I admire him. I've always heard him in the old days when I played with Steven, and the shows would come up and say things that were cantankerous toward Axel. I always stick up from him. We met each other back in the 80s, and we don't know each other very well, but I have nothing but admiration for how he's carried himself through this. And because of what they're doing right now, they'll be out there next year doing it as well. And so are they getting paid for it. They deserve it. They've worked hard. This is not an easy thing. They wrote all these bands, including my band. We wrote these songs when we were 20, 30 years old. You get a little older and you realize it's a tough job to sing them, first of all, to the voice changes, play every single night. And you really have to be disciplined. And there's nothing worse than I remember Stephen trying to say, then I get in the shower at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm trying to sing, and I'm going, I got no pipe today. And all those fans are out there waiting, and they're these songs that they've written that, people have fucked to the first time to these songs and fell in love, whatever occasion may be, and you want to bring them that good experience and bring them back to the old days. And it's a difficult gig. So I commend anybody out there that's working every single day, playing shows that I give a lot of credit. This is not an easy gig. We're all built to do this.
Well, look, man, Chip, it's been a pleasure talking with you today. I don't want to take much more of your time. I know you're a busy guy, but I wish you safe travels over to Guam, some great shows over there, and I hope you guys kick some ass next weekend at Hair Nation, and look forward to seeing you on tour with Ace. What is it, January, you said?
Oh, man, it's great. Yeah, January and February we'll be out with Ace, and then after that we do the Rock Never Stops tour. We're doing South America next year. We got Europe and England, and we'll go meet our label over in Italy and play a whole tour over there and through the European parts of the world. Real exciting right now for Enough Enough. We're back. I want everybody to know that. So, if you see anything going on, check out the show. Get on YouTube. Look at what we're doing. Band as strong as ever. And we're really grateful that we have a little more gas in the tank. And check us out when we're driving through your city in a little Oscar Mayer wiener wagon. That's us.
Awesome, buddy. Well, look, man, have a great Sunday. Thanks for your time, and best of luck to you.
Thanks, Mark. I wish you and your family and anybody that's reading or listening to this nothing but the best. May the best thing that happened to you last year be the worst thing that happens to you this year.
Amazing, buddy. Thanks, man. Have a good day.
All right, brother. Thanks, Mark.
Thanks, bro.